everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm excited to be here like I always am every week. We are in some really difficult astrological energy right now. I have a lot of clients who are going through a bunch of stuff right now. We had the lunar eclipse yesterday. We are in the Mercury pre-shadow. Mercury goes retrograde April 1st. And so it's not going to come out of retrograde fully. It'll go direct at the end of April. But then, of course, we have a little bit into May, mid-May, where it's finally done. So we have like 9 weeks of all of that. And then we have the solar stuff that's coming. The solar eclipse is coming April 8th. So we have a lot of really difficult energy that we are trying to move through right now. And so it's really important that we start talking to our spirit guides, that we start connecting with them, because the last 4 years we have been asked, go within. If there's anything that the pandemic taught us, it was, yes, the outside world is great and it's a place for us to go, but there's a time for us to go within and start learning our triggers, learning what's going on with us, learning what's important to us. And we have got to start addressing what is known as the shadows in the metaphysical realm. And your shadows are literally just the things that we hide in the dark, the things that we don't want to address, our pain, our discomfort. And those are the things that we need to start looking at. So it becomes really important for us to begin healing ourselves. It's one thing that I say to anybody and everybody who will listen, which is you were born with everything that you need to heal yourself. And we really need to remember this, because we have the ability to start working on all of the different things that trigger us so that we can begin healing all of the things within ourselves. And with that, I would like to welcome Angela to the show. Hi, Angela. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much, given the energy that we're in right now.
Okay.
What question do you have for me today?
So I'm just wondering if you have any messages from Spirit for me.
I will always have messages from spirit. And I have in my hands right now messages from your animal spirit guides. So we're going to work with animal spirit guides. And I'm just going to say your name in my head and ask them, what messages do we have for Angela today? And allow the cards to come out. Here we go.
Okay.
So what we have right now is we have gorilla. And for anybody who's watching, I'll put the card up. And the message on Gorilla says, take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. And, it's really interesting, Angela, as I sit with this information, Spirit shows it to me as though you have to remember that you are also one of your own family members. And it's time for you to go within. And they're showing it to me as though it's going straight down into the solar plexus. Do you know where your solar plexus is?
No, honestly.
That's okay. Your solar plexus is a chakra in your energy system, and it's right above your belly button. So that's where we
Okay.
have our gut instinct, our intuition. A lot of that comes from that space right there. And so Spirit is talking about going right down into that solar plexus chakra. And I'm wearing bright gold today. So that's perfect for the solar plexus. And it's time for you to start compassionately listening to yourself. This is going to mean being able to speak to
Yeah,
yourself
that's
in a
like pretty much
beautiful
spot
way.
on. I can relate. Yes, thank you.
Good. Oh, my pleasure. And so being able to be compassionate with yourself, listen to yourself, and give yourself grace to move through some of the difficult things that we need to move through in life. And this means being open to listening to yourself and speaking to yourself in a very calm manner. And we have to remember, would we talk to ourselves in the same way we talk to our best friend? And sometimes we catch ourselves saying things like, oh my gosh, you dummy, what were you thinking? And we would never say that to our best friends, but we say it to ourselves. So it's
Yourself.
learning to
Yeah,
not only listen compassionately to yourself, but speak compassionately to yourself. Does that make sense?
perfect sense.
Wonderful. And it's interesting because I'm looking at gorilla, right? And gorilla is this big, strong, masculine um, spirit animal. And what I can see is, gorilla also has this very beautiful, soft natured side because the female gorillas, they nurture their babies and they carry them and they do so much for them. And as I sit there and I start talking about this, spirit says, remember that it's important that you stop carrying everybody else's stuff and only carry what's yours to carry. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's time to start. We often carry other people's things like a baby or on a backpack, and then we don't realize, why our shoulders are hurting and why our neck is so sore, and it's because we're carrying all these extra burdens that aren't ours to carry. And so it becomes really important right now, especially with this energy that we're in, that you start to go into meditation and you can look at it and go, okay, here's what I'm carrying for child one, or here's what I'm carrying for my partner. And you can energetically say, I'm no longer willing to do this. And you can give it back to them. And I have
Okay.
a 5-minute meditation on my YouTube channel at Maria Leggett Medium that you can listen to. You have to be comfortable with swear words because it's got some swear words in it. But it is
Okay.
literally giving back things to people because you're tired of carrying them and you don't want to carry their stuff anymore. So it's a great way for you to start saying, okay, I am done with this. I don't want to carry your stuff and I don't want to carry your stuff. I only want to carry mine. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I do this all the time. I take on everybody else's stuff as my own. So that makes perfect sense.
Good. I'm glad. All right, spirit. They're showing me that taking on some other people's stuff can actually affect you right in the heart chakra, which is where your heart chakra is literally where you would think right in your heart, in your energy body. And it can affect us in the way that we would have, like I can feel some tightness in my chest. So it would be like having a panic attack or some anxiety that comes with it. And sometimes it hits us out of the blue, and I'm like, I don't understand what this is. I'm not really upset. Why am I having a panic attack? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That was just a few months back that happened, actually.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, not wonderful that it happened, but I'm glad that you understand.
Yeah.
And so what happens
Resonate.
is
Yes.
because perfect, resonate, yes. So I'm glad that you understand it because here's the thing. When this happens, we are etherically connected to the people in our lives. And with these etheric connections, it's a wide open straw where they can just send their panic down to you. And they're like, okay, I don't have it anymore, but now I handed it off to Angela, and now Angela has to deal with it. So that's when we can
Uh-huh.
have these panics or this anxiety that has nothing to do with us. And so that's why it becomes important to start giving things back to people. I also have on my YouTube channel as well an etheric cord clearing video. And what it does is, Angela, it's going to teach you how to pull etheric cords out of your body and give them back to the person so that when they reconnect, if they're meant to reconnect, that they come back in a healthy way. And so that means that we have this nice little filter on there that says, okay, I can see you and I'll sit next to you while you're feeling your things, but I'm not taking it from you anymore. It's going to stay with you and I'll just pat your back while we're
Mhm.
going through it. Does that make sense?
Yes. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because
Wow.
spirit shows it to me as though you've carried all this stuff for so long and you're really ready to
Mhm.
start letting it go. You just don't really know the first step to do it. Does that make sense?
To do it. Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know how to release it, and yeah, that's for sure.
Exactly. So that etheric cord clearing video that I have on my YouTube channel, that's going to help you to start pulling out etheric cords that belong to other people. Now, I will give you a fair warning. When you do this, you only want to pull out 3 or 4 at once because we have multiples, because you want your energy to settle into the adjustment of removing some things that don't belong. and let your energy settle. And then in a week, you can do it again and pull out some other ones. And you may have to pull out the same one several times until they get the idea, because they've crossed your boundaries for so long that they don't want to recognize you actually having the wherewithal to say, no, we're not doing this anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh my goodness. The boundaries thing exactly, and that's oh,
Yeah.
you're you're hitting it all on the nail on the head for sure.
Oh, good.
Wow.
I'm glad. Because boundaries are so
Yeah.
important, right? And that's how these etheric cords get developed, is that we don't always have super healthy boundaries. So when we have really healthy
Mhm.
boundaries, when the etheric cord comes, it doesn't automatically just allow everything through. So when we have the healthy boundary, it's okay. Only what's good for me comes through. And sometimes it's a lesson that we need to learn. So it's not always fun. But most of the time, it is, we're just going to stop right here because I don't need that stuff. And that's what's going to be really
Right.
important for you to move forward in your own healing journey. And your spirit guides are showing me that you're going to feel much more free, and you're going to feel more energy in your body. They show it to me as though there are times of, I'm really tired and I don't understand why I'm so tired. And this is going to help you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Actually, for like the past month, I have been exhausted and for no reason. I'm not
Hmm.
even doing anything strenuous, and I'm just so fatigued and just because of all this, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so being able to clear these cords and do all the things is going to help you, Angela, get to where you need to be so that you are less tired and you feel more energetic and
Get
just
it.
grateful to continue being on your journey.
Okay. Wonderful. Ooh, I'm excited about that.
Well, good. I am so glad. I want to thank you, Angela, so much for coming on to the show. I am so glad that you were here and that this information was helpful to you. And for anybody who was watching, and Angela as well, I used the deck Messages from Your Spirit Animals from Stephen D. Farmer. And if you'd like to book a one-to-one reading with me, you can go to marialeggett.com. And if you would like to watch my videos on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/at Maria Leggett Medium. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your afternoon.